Would you ever believe that something caked in mud and manure could one day lie beneath the feet of billionaires? Every year, sheep around the world produce up to 3 million tons of wool, most of it starting as a tangled, greasy mess. In Australia alone, over 78 million sheep are sheared annually, their fleece stripped off in minutes, but that's just the beginning. What happens next turns trash into treasure. In just 6 weeks, this raw fleece is scoured, spun, dyed, and woven until it becomes a $10,000 hand-knotted carpet laid down in a Manhattan penthouse. This isn't just wool, it's transformation, and the journey from sheep to showroom, almost no one ever sees it, until now. It begins with a whisper in the wind, the rustle of hooves across the dry Australian plains. For over 10,000 years, humans have raised sheep, not just for survival, but for something more enduring, something that would come to define warmth, resilience, and beauty. Wool soft, curled like smoke, yet impossibly strong. It bends but never breaks. It insulates against fire, resists time, weather, even gravity. A fabric that breathes in the heat and shelters in the cold. But behind its cozy embrace lies a story of grit and evolution. In 1797, Britain sent just 13 sheep to the harsh frontiers of Australia. From that humble beginning grew the largest wool industry on Earth. Today, with over 78 million sheep, Australia shears more than 350 million kilograms of wool each year. It's a process that once demanded scissors and sweat. Now, it's a race against time, powered by roaring machines, human skill, and centuries of tradition. But this is no simple harvest. But what happens after the wool leaves the sheep is where the real story begins. Because what's hidden inside, that greasy yellow clump, is worth more than gold. Raw fleece is disgusting. It's full of sweat, dirt, manure, and lanolin, a natural wax the sheep's skin produces. Most people wouldn't touch it. But in New Zealand, a select group of craftsmen still clean it by hand. This is scouring. Think of it as a baptism. What was once foul-smelling and forgotten begins to breathe again. The transformation begins long before the blades touch wool. It starts in the silence of dawn, in the rhythm of hooves, in the eyes of a shepherd who has walked this land for generations. Each sheep is more than livestock. It's a living vessel of warmth, raised with care, bred with precision. A guardian of a centuries-old legacy. Then the moment comes. Shearing day. In the stillness, a hum of machinery breaks the calm. The same hands that raise the sheep now steady them with skill and gentleness. Every motion is deliberate, fast but never rushed, precise but never careless, because one wrong move could hurt the animal. And that's not just bad for wool. It's a betrayal of trust. A single fleece, sheared in one continuous piece, is lifted like a ghost from the sheep's back. And in that moment, something extraordinary happens. The sheep changes. Its body responds almost immediately, increasing heat production, instinctively adapting. Hunger kicks in. The animal begins to eat, restoring its strength, rebuilding energy, and the fleece, that tangled, oily mass, begins its own journey. What was once part of a living being is now raw material, but it's far from ready. What lies ahead is a gauntlet, washing, combing, spinning, dyeing, weaving. Every step is as delicate as it is brutal, and through it all, the transformation continues, because this isn't just about wool. It's about everything we never see. The hands, the heritage, the hidden cost behind softness, and we're only just getting started. It's not just a job. It's a battle against time, fatigue, and the relentless weight of wool. On a good day, an experienced shearer might finish 140 sheep. The best in the world, up to 200, 2 hours on, 10 minutes off. over and over, bent over in a punishing rhythm. Their only relief comes from a harness hanging from the shed's ceiling, holding their bodies just enough to keep going. Every stroke of the blade is calculated. They begin at the belly, coarsest, roughest part, and work outward with speed and precision, aiming for the gold standard, a perfect fleece, sheared in one single, unbroken piece. But this isn't just about speed, it's about mastery. The world record? 39.3 seconds. One sheep, one human. Most top-tier shearers take under 2 minutes, but for those watching, it's almost a dance, a blur of motion. And behind every fleece that leaves the shed is a story carved in sweat, muscle, and the unspoken bond between a shearer and the animal they never harm, only free. The fleece hits the ground, but this is only the beginning. What lies there isn't soft. It's greasy, tangled, and stained with the rawness of the animal's life. This is not the wool you see in high-end boutiques. Not yet. The moment it's shorn, a new process begins. One just as meticulous, just as human. Hands, fast and practiced, spread the fleece across long tables. Edges are trimmed. Dirt, sweat, manure, and vegetable matter all removed with care. Only the heart of the fleece remains. Then comes sorting, where each lock is judged for its quality, strength, and fineness. What you wear on your back, what lies under your feet. It all begins with these tiny decisions. A skilled sorter knows instantly, this fleece becomes a sweater. That one, a rug in a luxury hotel. If shearing is a dance, this is a baptism. The fleece is plunged into deep, steaming baths, one after another, stripping away the natural grease known as lanolin, along with embedded dirt and sweat. Yet slowly, something emerges, from filth, from odor, from chaos. A softness returns. Wool, clean, pure. But even now, it's still only halfway through its metamorphosis. What once covered a sheep is starting to become something else, something with purpose, with beauty. But before it becomes a masterpiece, it must be broken down, thread by thread. The wool is clean now, but it's still wild, still untamed. It clings together in clumps, loose, fragile, unpredictable. This is the moment it's brought into order. Enter the carding machines, towering, thunderous beasts with hundreds of fine wire teeth. They grab the wool, pull it apart, and realign every fiber into a soft, continuous web. It looks like clouds, but don't be fooled. Inside these machines, chaos is combed into precision. Each pass brings more clarity. The fibers line up. Direction is born. From the carding, drum spills out something new, roving. Long, fluffy ropes of wool, uniform, smooth, almost hypnotic. But the real magic, it's in the spin. The roving is fed into a spinning frame, a mechanical ballet that stretches and twists the fibers into yarn. Thousands of revolutions per minute. And suddenly, what was once loose fluff becomes a strong, continuous thread. Thread that can now carry weight. Thread that lasts. The yarn is reeled, coiled, and bundled, miles of it wound with care, ready for the next phase. But even now, it holds no color, no story, only potential. Next comes the moment where wool finds its voice. Dyeing. Shall we step into the vats? Because what happens next will change everything. The yarn enters a chamber of alchemy. Rows of massive vats bubble and steam, filled with swirling pigment. Deep crimsons, indigo blues, golden ochres, each one a world unto itself. The temperature rises, the air thickens, and then the yarn is submerged. What was once pale and neutral is now immersed in boiling color, a violent rebirth under pressure and heat. It soaks, it breathes, it transforms. Every strand absorbs the dye differently. No two batches are ever truly identical. That's what gives handmade wool its soul, its imperfection, its truth. The thread becomes ready. Now the story moves from survival to creation. We've traveled from the back of a sheep, through blades and machines, through water and fire, and now the real artistry begins. Because what comes next is handwork. It's the loom, the fingers, the human heart. We're about to witness the moment wool becomes design, and for that, we head to the loom room. The loom room is sacred, not loud, not chaotic, but pulsing. with focus, with rhythm, with something ancient. Inside, the air hums with the click and pull of wooden looms, and at each one a human being sits, completely still except for their hands. Thread by thread, line by line, knot by knot, the wool begins to speak. Designs passed down over generations emerge from memory, not from blueprints. Each knot is intentional, precise. Thousands upon thousands will be tied, one at a time. And the craziest part? A single medium-sized carpet, the kind you'd casually walk over in a living room, might take a team of weavers 6 months to complete, half a year for one carpet. And if it's a large museum-grade masterpiece, 1 year, 2, sometimes more. You don't just make a carpet, you live with it. The loom becomes a second body, the yarn becomes a second language, the design becomes an obsession. Because there's no undo button, every mistake stays, and that's what makes it real. So as the days blur into weeks, and weeks into months, the design grows. It grows with pain, with pride, with purpose, until finally, the last knot is tied. And what was once tangled fleece on the back of a sheep is now a dense, intricate canvas of color, culture, and craft. You followed the journey from fleece to floor. You witnessed the transformation no one talks about. And maybe next time, you'll see more than just wool beneath your feet. You'll see lives. You'll see stories. You'll see the invisible. You've just watched a transformation most of the world will never see. From a tangled, muddy fleece on the back of a sheep to a work of art that now lives among the rich and the rare. But what you really saw was something deeper. You saw hands. Hands that shear. Hands that sort. Hands that spin. Hands that tie knot after knot, until every thread holds a part of someone's soul. It's easy to forget. We live in a world where things simply arrive, click a button, open a box, toss it when it wears out. But behind every object is a journey. Behind every luxury is labor. And behind every beautiful thing is someone you'll never meet who made it that way. So the next time your feet touch wool, remember, it started on a sheep's back, in a field far from here, with people who live by their hands, not for fame, not for wealth, but for the craft, and that's worth remembering. This is not just a carpet, it's a legacy.